Language, culture, interaction, and evolution. Evolution is a fundamental concept that allows us to understand how the complex and diverse forms of life have changed and adapted over time. This process is transmitted from generation to generation through changes in the genetic materials of organisms. Evolution, a masterful force of nature, demonstrates that living beings adapt to various environments and evolve over time, indicating that life is in a constant state of adaptation and change. Evolution also encompasses biological changes, mutations. Random changes in genetic material can lead to the emergence of new features and an increase in the adaptive abilities of species. This process enables living beings to adapt to various and changing environmental conditions, ensuring the transfer of their genes to the next generation in a more flawless and inherent manner, including humans. Not only does evolution occur in biological organisms, but we also observe it in culture. Humans trigger social and cultural evolution by transmitting knowledge and experiences from generation to generation. Language, technology, art, and social structures carry the traces of the evolution of human history. In this article, I will share the results of my research on the gains and losses of language and culture in the path of evolution. Language, as the fundamental tool of human communication, represents one of the most important and dynamic evolutionary processes in human history. The evolution of language and language interactions between different cultures have played significant roles throughout human history. Language, beyond being a means of communication, also serves as a carrier of culture, reflecting the values, mythology, history, and daily life of society, playing a key role in the formation of cultural identity. Language interactions contribute significantly to cultural richness. Sharing the language and communication styles of different cultures allows individuals to express their thoughts and cultures to others, promoting better understanding and tolerance between cultures. Language interactions strengthen cultural ties and help people feel closer to each other. Besides being a fundamental tool for human communication and maintenance, language enhances intercultural communication and understanding. It promotes trade, directs the sharing of knowledge, and directly increases cultural richness. The evolution of language and cultural interaction supports a global understanding of society without losing identity, allowing people to understand and coexist with different cultures worldwide. The interaction between language groups and cultures in different geographical locations has left deep traces on the evolution of language. While the evolution of language initially started to meet basic human needs, it later gained importance in defining, sustaining, and preserving cultural structures and characteristics. The early human communities used simple language structures for survival and communication purposes. Over time, as communication methods became more complex based on societal structures and communication needs, different language structures began to take shape as societies differentiated. As a result, different cultures and languages emerged. This differentiation naturally led to the potential breakdown of relationships between societies. However, contrary to this, individuals chose to be influenced by and benefit from those languages to maintain communication through language and culture. Language interactions between different cultures have always been effective on societies due to the reflection and compelling nature of historical, social, and economic factors. As a result of this influence, the importance of language in trade, science, literature, and other fields between cultures has increased, accelerating the evolutionary process. Language interactions allow for increased understanding and the sharing of innovations among different cultures. Learning a language enables individuals to explore different worldviews, ideas, and values, facilitating mutual communication and understanding between societies with diverse cultural backgrounds. The evolution of language is essential for expressing new concepts. When needed, words, definitions, and expressions are adopted from different cultures in areas such as trade, science, literature, etc. These acquisitions enhance the richness of language, its expressive power, and cultural diversity. This, in turn, enables individuals to convey their emotions and thoughts more effectively, leading to the development of literary works. When translations of these works are published in foreign languages, they can gain recognition worldwide. This, in addition to increasing interest between different cultures, directly influences the reflection of cultural richness. Language interactions have played a crucial role in scientific and technological advancements. They have assisted individuals in making new discoveries and increasing the accumulation of knowledge. Language, as a factor that shapes humanity's past and determines its future, carries deep traces of intercultural interactions. Understanding these traces is an important step in sharing humanity's common history and supporting cultural richness. As a result of language and cultural evolution, we can briefly list the following gains. 1. Cultural richness and diversity. Interaction between different cultures can enhance cultural richness. For example, traditions brought by immigrants from their places of origin can contribute various cultural elements to the new community they become a part of. 2. Development and enrichment of language. Intercultural interaction can contribute to the development and enrichment of a language. Words or expressions borrowed from foreign languages can enhance the expressive power of the language. 3. Development of trade. Interaction between communities speaking different languages facilitates the development of trade. Finding a common language can ease global trade and stimulate economic growth. 4. Education and knowledge sharing. Language interaction between different cultures can facilitate knowledge sharing and development. Studies in the fields of science, art, and technology, when shared among different cultures, can contribute to cultural development. 5. Cultural understanding and tolerance. Language and cultural interactions can enhance understanding between different communities, promoting tolerance by helping people realize that cultural diversity is an asset. 6. Cultural diplomacy. Intercultural interactions can strengthen relations between countries. Cultural diplomacy, using cultural elements such as art, literature, and music, can create a positive communication environment between nations. 7. Preservation of cultural heritage. Interaction between different cultures can help preserve traditional practices and handicrafts, contributing to the continuation of cultural heritage in line with respect for cultural legacy. 8. Interpersonal connections. Understanding and sharing different cultures can create stronger bonds among individuals, facilitating coexistence with tolerance. These positive aspects demonstrate that the evolution of culture and language can create a broader understanding and collaboration environment among individuals. So far, especially when discussing the evolution, particularly in the context of language, we have talked about the positive aspects of these developments in a general sense. However, it is inevitable to consider a different perspective. In this regard, it is essential not to overlook important points that need emphasis in the evolution process. Just as there are both benefits and drawbacks in the use of technology, the evolution of language and culture also has negative aspects alongside its positive ones. Every language is open to evolution and possesses a living, evolving structure. Evolution should occur spontaneously over time, not through force. The key factors in language evolution can be listed as follows. 1. Language and migration. Migration is a significant factor influencing the evolution of language. The interaction of different cultures through migration can lead to changes in language. 2. Technological advances in language. The development of scientific terminology and the global impact of the internet highlight the importance of technological factors in the evolution of language. 3. Intercultural language interaction. Intercultural communication leads to the emergence of new expressions and concepts in language, indicating that language evolves along with culture. 4. Media and the evolution of language. Media is an influential factor in the evolution of language. Media tools such as television, radio, and the internet contribute to the spread, popularization of new expressions by affecting language usage. 5. Lifestyle and language. Changing lifestyles in society can influence the evolution of language. For instance, changes in gender roles and societal norms can affect language expressions. 6. Cultural change and language. Cultural change plays a crucial role in the evolution of language. Changes in cultural structure can influence the meaning and usage of language. It is crucial to pay attention to the fact that new words acquired during the language evolution process should conform to the structure of the language within the framework of language rules. Thus, during the evolution phase, maintaining sensitivity to language and avoiding cultural degradation can be ensured through conscious and scientific efforts. If, under the guise of language evolution, linguistic pollution is tolerated, it will not contribute to evolution but rather lead to the corruption, loss of identity, and ultimately stagnation of the language over time. Additionally, it should not be assumed that the definition of evolution will solely involve borrowing from foreign languages. Certainly, words can be borrowed from foreign languages. However, existing and living counterparts in the language should be prioritized, and new words should be generated through these sources. If these opportunities are not available, then borrowing becomes the last resort. However, this should be done by adhering to the rules of the language. This way, a foreign word, when integrated, will assume a new identity as part of the vocabulary of that language. It is essential to remember that language evolves parallel to changes in societies and cultures. Briefly, we can list the losses resulting from language and cultural evolution as follows. 1. Language loss. Interaction between different languages can create a risk of losing one's mother tongue in some cultures. This situation can lead to a decrease in language diversity and the extinction of some languages. For example, in communities where a small, uncommon language is spoken, the influence of a more widely spoken language may result in an increasing number of individuals forgetting or not using their own language. 2. Cultural dominance. Intercultural interaction can lead to the dominance of certain cultural elements over others, resulting in a decrease in cultural diversity. This situation can lead to cultural homogenization. For example, the global popularity of Hollywood films can exert cultural pressure, influencing film industries from other cultures. 3. Cultural simplification. Interaction between cultures can lead to the simplification and loss of some traditional cultural elements. This situation may contribute to a decrease in cultural diversity. For instance, the influence of foreign fast food chains on traditional local cuisines can lead to the simplification and alteration of local culinary traditions. 4. Cultural imperialism. The situation where powerful cultures influence and even dominate weaker cultures is referred to as cultural imperialism or, commonly, cultural imperialism. This condition can negatively impact cultural diversity. The dominance of major technology companies, e.g., US-based, over cultural content in other countries is a clear example of cultural imperialism. 5. Identity loss. Interaction between cultures carries the risk of individuals losing their cultural identities. Cultural homogenization resulting from the absurdity of globalization can weaken local identities. Especially during this process, younger generations distancing themselves from their traditional clothing, music, or customs can be cited as an example of losing cultural identity. 6. Value conflicts. Interaction between different cultures can lead to conflicts of values. This situation can cause disagreements and tensions among communities. In societies where different religious or ethnic groups coexist, cultural value conflicts can lead to disagreements and even conflicts. 7. Social imbalance. As a result of interaction between cultures, a country with a strong economic and cultural structure can suppress the cultures of less powerful countries. This imbalance can disrupt social equilibrium, leading to inequality and injustices. 8. Cultural assimilation. Cultural assimilation refers to the efforts of powerful cultures to absorb and eliminate other cultures, combining them with their own elements. Naturally, this process can lead to the loss of certain cultural elements. For example, individuals abandoning their traditional clothing styles and eating habits in favor of more widespread cultural practices exemplify cultural assimilation. These negative aspects can arise when intercultural interactions are not managed in a balanced and respectful manner. In conclusion, when the evolution of language and cultural interactions is examined from a scientific perspective, it constitutes a significant part of human history. As the evolution of language accelerates with modern communication technologies and globalization, efforts to preserve cultural diversity have become crucial focal points of scientific research. Language interactions contribute to cultural richness when supported by scientific examples. Sharing language and communication styles among different cultures promotes better understanding and tolerance between cultures. What is crucial and should not be forgotten is that, during the evolutionary process, individuals and societies should not relinquish the reins of evolution. They should carefully manage these interactions in balance, addressing both the positive and negative aspects, and thus regulating the chances of gain and loss.